Well, good afternoon, YouTube. I'm just going to show you how to tie a spinnerbait today. I've been making a lot of them for my upcoming trip to Wisconsin to take my son out fishing. And spinnerbait, these are what I've done so far. I've done all of these right here. And let me zoom in on that. Just different colors. I'm going to show you how I tie one today, just so you have an idea. So, let's see, back out a little bit. This is my workstation where I do just this. It's lead pouring, it's bullet molding. This is one of my 3 workstations downstairs. The other one's for making bullets, one's for doing shotguns. So I just sit over here and I make up probably about 10 or 15 of these an hour, and I don't do them for people anymore. And I know there's going to be a couple guys that watch this that I used to do them for, and I just don't, because it's time consuming. I don't have a lot of time in business, but I do it for fun, and this actually gets pretty elaborate. I'll show you why. Here's one of them. You got 3 coats of paint and then 3 different eye details after making and putting this thing together with a mold and a jig. And it takes a lot of time. And then on this I have to put on the skirt, and then I have to bend the tip of this over and put a 3-part component system on this for a barrel swivel, a regular split ring, and a spinner blade, which is one of these little things. And you gotta put all these little components together, and then you gotta attach it. So we'll just do one of these and I'll show you how I do it. Let's get this in the vise and we'll get you guys in on this. Okay, I use different thread than I'm thinking even my father did. He used a lighter thread. I go with a heavy one because I like to really work and pull on it so that I know it's in there. But there's my thread on a bobbin. So you get your bobbin, okay? And then you just come in and I first make a knot, only because I want this thing to bite on here real hard. Sometimes I'll even, depending on the thread, I'll lock this on here with a drop of super glue. That way I know it's already locked on there. But this stuff I can really pull on pretty hard. So I get this started, and then I do about 3 or 4 wraps, making sure I lock that thread in. There we go. Trim off the tailpiece. And then today I'm going to use white. It's white flat with, you got white flat, which is this one, flat material. It still spreads out. And then you got red, and this is more of it splits out to real nice. I mean, it pulls apart in little tiny pieces so that you can do this stuff with it, shred it out. I'll show you that in a minute. And this is round. So first things first, we'll get the white on there. Give it a couple of wraps. Then you go with your red. Couple of wraps. Now this wouldn't be enough red, so I always put in a little extra. So I'll take about half of this other one, come up on the bottom, and tie this in. Okay, that's on there pretty tight. Now I go with a knot around and lock it in. And I mean, this is why I like the heavy duty thread, because you're going to snap it. Once I get that, drop of Loctite on here, and all this does is lock my threads in so that they don't come apart. Yeah, let that sit and dry for a minute. Then you just take a scissors, and the white comes apart pretty good. There's some of these that I buy that I don't think that comes apart that great. You got to really work at it after a while. You just spread it apart. Then you come in, you pull down on it. Just locked in here a little bit tighter. You pull down on it and just trim, and it comes up in little tiny pieces. All comes apart. My dad used to make these over the winter and then sell them in his bait shop. Back in, well, Dad died in 2001, so it's been a while. But I have all the stuff to do it. I just don't do it for people anymore. Some people were getting very particular about the colors they wanted and stuff like that, and I'm like, well, why do I want to go through all that motion when I can just make them up for me and my son, my wife, my 2 daughters that are going, my cousin that's going, and we'll just have fun fishing, and I don't have the stress. You just trim them out. It's kind of a messy little project to play with because you get these little pieces everywhere, and so I keep a shop vac down here. I think I got one more over here. Yeah, one long, thick one. Pull this down. As you pull it, you're stretching it, so when you clip it, it all comes apart. See, I think the white's a little bit more difficult than the red. There you go. That's what you come up with. Ooh, I missed a spot. Okay. This, let me back you back out here. And that's what you come up with, okay? But even that, Dad would say would be too much. So you want to even it out. You take it, you pull it down like this, trim it off. Make it all nice and even. Now it's all nice and even. Okay. Now you need certain tools to bend eyes. So where's my eye bender here? Here it is right there. You take it, and you pair of pliers like this. Okay, the round nose. And then you just bend it over. And put your little loop in there. Take a spinner blade. Put that on there. Then take a pair of pliers and crimp it down. That's a hand-tied spinnerbait. That's all you got right there. I can make probably maybe 10 an hour. If you're starting from scratch and you're starting to paint them from the very get-go, it's going to take a while because you're going to have to do a bunch of colors and you have to let them dry. And I set them up on this little box here and they dry, and you come up with, I don't know, greens, blacks, you know, just do blacks, greens, purples, reds, yellows, whites. Here's one of my whites. This only got 2 of the eye colors on it right now. It's gonna have a third. But you just make up a bunch of them, and then you go out and you go see how bad the pike are gonna rip them apart, because they are. And then you come back with ones that are just shredded. I mean, just mangled, and they're, you know, no good anymore. clean them up, take the blades off, throw the blades on one side, sit here with a torch, melt the head off on the pot here, come back with your regular components, which is your wires and your hooks, and then take out the mold, put it in the mold, and start all over again. Pour new head, and you'll wind up with you'll have a few of them, quite honestly, and then you start all over again. But that's my little tutorial for the day. My wife says I need to start doing stuff with this stuff, so that's what I'm doing with it. But if you're interested in learning how to do it, send me a text. I'll show you what I got going on and how you get it done. Get your back over on those there. I mean, that's quite a bit of them. I just made my own rack. Dad used to have a rack like this in his shop, and he'd have hundreds on there, and then when people buy them, he'd fill them up again, because what you're doing all winter long, making them. Have a nice day, guys.